Welcome to the Startup Guide for Clemco's Pro Series Big Clem Bulk Blasters with pneumatic remote controls. This is the second of two videos about how to set up and then begin operating Pro Series Big Clem Bulk Blasters with pneumatic remote controls. Keep in mind that this video is not a replacement for reading the Pro Series Big Clem Operations Manual, which should be read in full by anyone who uses these machines. Failure to comply with the instructions in the operations manual can result in severe injury or even death. Performing an initial test. To ensure safe operation of your Pro Series Big Clem, Clemco recommends performing an initial test. Perform the initial test with an empty abrasive chamber so that you won't need to empty the chamber if an issue is found that needs attention. Open the abrasive chamber's fill port lid and keep it open while the blast machine is in use. Place the nozzle washer in the nozzle holder and screw the nozzle onto the holder. The nozzle must seat tightly against the nozzle washer. Check that both safety petcocks are open. The safety petcocks are located on the metering valve and air valve. A petcock is open when the petcock lever is in line with the petcock. Check that all quick coupling have safety lock pins in place. Also use lock pins and safety cables when connecting blast hoses together. Make sure the choke valves, located above the air valves, and the abrasive flow shutoff valves, located above the metering valves, are open. Open is when the position of the handles are in line with their valves. Ensure that the pressurization valve is closed. Make sure the compressed air supply valve to your Pro Series Big Clem is closed, and then start the compressor and bring it to operating temperature and pressure. Pressure at the machine must be more than 80 psi, but must not exceed 175 psi. Next, slowly open the compressed air supply valve and listen for any open lines or leaks. The air supply line, moisture separator tank, and remote control circuit will pressurize. Close the exhaust valve and open the pressurization valve. If the pop-up valve does not seal, close the pop-up bypass valve and reopen it as soon as the pop-up valve seats. Close the safety petcocks on the operator stations that will be used. This step prepares the machine for operation and actuation from remote control handles. Leave the safety petcocks open on operator stations that are not being used. Air should be heard escaping from the orifice under the remote control handle levers, but nowhere else. Before activating the handles, make sure you have put on all of your protective gear. Operators and anyone else who may be exposed to the hazards generated by abrasive blasting must wear appropriate protective gear, including abrasive-resistant clothing, leather gloves, hearing protection, and a NIOSH-approved Type CE supplied air respirator. Put on your protective blasting attire outside the blast area, in a clean, non-hazardous environment, free of contaminants, where the air is safe to breathe. After you have on all of your protective gear, you will activate each remote control handle that will be used and check for proper system operation one at a time. Be aware that high-pressure air will blast from each nozzle within a second or two after activating it. After your Pro Series Big Clem passes the initial test, release the remote control handles. See your Pro Series Big Clem Operations Manual for further details. Depressurize the abrasive chamber by closing the pressurization valve and opening the exhaust valve. The pop-up valve automatically drops when air is expelled from the chamber and pressure equalizes. The machine is now ready to fill with abrasive. Loading abrasive. Make sure the fill port lid is open and the abrasive chamber is depressurized. Fill the abrasive chamber. Keep the abrasive level below the pop-up valve to prevent abrasive from being forced up and out of the abrasive chamber when it pressurizes. Blasting. Make sure that the toggle on the remote control's ACS switch is pointing away from the nozzle, which ensures that media will flow when the remote control handle is pressed. Hold the blast hose securely and point the nozzle only at objects that you intend to blast. Fold down the safety lever lock and press the remote control handle. Blasting will begin in a few seconds. To stop blasting, release the control handle lever. The safety lever flips up to prevent unintentional activation. The purpose of this video has been to familiarize viewers with how to start up Pro Series Big Clem Bulk Blasters equipped with pneumatic remote controls. It is the second of two videos about how to set up and then begin operating Pro Series Big Clems with pneumatic remote controls. Be sure to watch the first video, the setup guide, if you have not. Always refer to the Pro Series Big Clem Operations Manual for more details about setting up, starting, and operating your Pro Series Big Clem.